10 o'clock. This is the 17th day of January. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM. I am sleepy and have a headache. But let's continue with our topic. So we've done my top 3 favorite modules, my top 3 favorite D&D YouTubers, my top 5 games of all time. Therefore, what is the best role-playing game of all time? Is it Dungeons & Dragons? Personally, I don't think so, but I know there's a lot of people there. And really, I can't justify what the best role-playing game is of all time in the world because I don't know what all the role-playing games are in the world. I live in the United States. I'm generally, I think, well aware of all the games that have ever come out here in the U.S., but I'm sure there are dozens, if not 100 games that have been published in the last 35, 40 years that I have no idea exists. So one of those could be the best. Plus, what about the rest of the world? What about, Asia, Europe, the Middle East, South America, Mexico, Antarctica? There could be the best role-playing game in the world. It could be a game they're playing in Chechnya. We don't know. I mean, I don't live in Chechnya. I don't know anybody who lives in Chechnya. So I don't know. I can only say what based upon certain factors, what I think would be the best. So I think, can I, at the drop of a thumb, run anything with a system? That would be the first thing I would consider for the best role-playing system ever. And I'm not talking about best genres or best fantasy game. I'm just like, what is the best system? So first, is it a system I could do anything with? At the drop of a hat, could I run space with this system? Could I run supers? Could I run fantasy? Could I run creeks and crawdads? Could I run any game? So that would be the first thing you'd be looking for. The second thing is ease of play. How easy are the rules? How approachable the rules? How quickly could you teach somebody who'd never played before how to play and have them at a level where they just understand the basics without having to go, what does that mean? And requires the least amount of props, So the least amount of dice, or the dice that are easiest to find. And let's face it, if we're going down the pecking order of who is the easiest dice to find, D6 has got to be at the top. You can find D6s pretty much anywhere in the world. I mean, the liquor store at my corner has D6s. Those little cardboard packages that hang on the wall next to the cigarettes that have 4D6, 5D6 in it for gambling, or whatever. So, and, if you were trapped on a desert island, it'd probably be a lot easier to make a D6 out of rocks than, say, a D12. I don't know. I mean, I see rocks all the time that'll have 6 sides or 5 sides, or I could make into a 6-sider or a 4-sider. 20-sided rocks? Yeah. So can it be used to play anything? Drop of a hat. People show up at your front door at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're all, let's play vampire. And you're like, I don't have a vampire system. What could I use in 10 minutes to come up with a vampire system? And, ease of play. What requires the least amount of investment in stuff? Can I run this system with just a pencil and paper? Can I run this system, with this, probably D6s, what I think would be the easiest to find and get? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe D8s would be the second easiest to find because it's easy to find 8-sided rocks or 4-sided rocks. And if you were trapped on a desert island, and I know they're have 8-sided dice out there for some things, but let's face it, the world runs on 6-sided dice. Vegas, and most gambling games that use dice use 6-sided dice. So can I run anything with it? Rules are easy to learn, and the props are easy to find or assimilate. So we're probably looking at a D6 system. A lot of people say the Call of Cthulhu rule set, basic role-playing from Cassium, is one of the best role-playing game systems of all time because it's very easy to learn and you can run anything with it. And that's pretty much true, except it's a percentile system, and percentile dice are not easy to find. I mean, I could teach people percentile 1 through 100. Most people understand that. But how do I generate 1 through 100 if I'm in Chechnya, where I can't walk into, Schlugvag's House of Gaming and buy a couple percentile? What if I'm trapped on a desert island? How do I figure out 100-sided things? If I have nothing to work with but rocks I guess I could have like 100 pieces of wood in a cup. So, yeah, I think that would be the second easiest, because basic role playing is a really easy system to learn. You can really do anything with it, and generating 1 through 100 is medium difficulty as opposed to generating 1 through 6, which I think is probably the easiest. So those would probably be my top 2. So we're looking at a system I could run anything with rules that are easy to learn, requires very little in the way of physical product, i.e. dice. So we're looking at a D6 system or a D100 system, and so we're looking at games like Powered by the Apocalypse, 3D6. We're looking at games like Teeny D6, 3D6. We're looking at games like, West End Games D6 system, which you need lots of D6s, but again, it's D6s. We're looking at games, anything that uses simple D6s like 1, 2, 3D6. That would be the easiest to find. Multiple D6s would be the next easiest to find. And then like ways to generate 1 through 100 would probably be pretty easy, or the next easiest to find, but not as easy as D6s. So the best role-playing game in my experience, and of course I could be wrong, is those things. Easy dice to find or facsimilate, generate the numbers. Rules that are easy to learn, that like just things everybody understands, like everybody understands 1 through 20, everybody understands 3 to 18, everybody understands 1 through 100. 1 through 100 is probably the easiest to understand, or some variation of that. And can I run anything with it? That would be the best role-playing game. So Chaosium's D100 basic role-playing definitely ranks at the top 5, if not the top 3 of just games that you could do anything with. We're just looking at D6 games. GURPS, I guess you could do anything with GURPS, but except GURPS is point buy, and that gets confusing, and you need to, so we don't want point buy. So we're looking at like Powered by the Apocalypse, Year Zero, West End Games D6 system, Teeny D6, Easy D6, any 1, 2, 3 D6 system that's out there. There you go. So that's what I would think would be the best game. The best published one that I'm aware of, Chaosium's D100 system, or again, those 4, Traveler used D6s. The West End Games D6 system is a very intuitive, easy system to learn. You just roll lots of D6s. Teeny D6 is an easy system to learn. Powered by the Apocalypse is an easy system to learn. So yeah, there you go. That's what I think the best role-playing game would be. Now, mind you, I don't know what's out there. There are probably Schrodinger's role-playing game. Since I don't know what's out there, I don't know how many there are. There could be 0 role-playing games. There could be an infinite number of role-playing games. I don't know how many role-playing games there are until I see every role-playing game and have a chance to look at every role-playing game in the world and then decide, oh, this game from Milan is the best role-playing game ever. So, since I don't know, it's a Schrodinger's, cat scenario. There's no right or wrong answer. But those would be my parameters for trying to figure out. Desert Island, I have nothing but rocks, sand, and people who want to play. What's the easiest system to use and generate? There you go. I hope you appreciate this thought experiment, and if you do, you can maybe appreciate it by subscribing if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet. Help me hit 500 subs by August 4th. Support me, Smartwater. I need a sponsor, and I will sell out. I will talk to you later.